I am Lisa.
And I'm Eric. Do you want to improve your English easily? If so, you're in the right place.
Okay, today we'll listen to a podcast about productive morning routines.
Let's listen to it.
Welcome to the Morning Routine Podcast, where we explore how to start your day right. I'm your host, Mark.
And I am Emma. I'm excited to talk about mornings today.
So, Emma, why are mornings so important? Many people just want to sleep as long as possible.
That's true, Mark. But how we start our morning actually affects our whole day. When you have a good morning routine, you feel more positive and get more done. Many successful people say their morning routine is a big reason for their success.
I've heard that. But I know many people struggle with mornings. What are some common problems people face?
The biggest problem is not getting enough sleep. Many people stay up late watching videos or using social media when they're supposed to be sleeping, then feel very tired in the morning.
I'm guilty of that sometimes. What else?
Another big problem is not being organized. When you can't find your keys or don't know what to wear, you start your day feeling stressed.
That's so true. I hate rushing around in the morning looking for things.
Also, some people try to do too much in the morning. They want to exercise, meditate, read, and check emails all before work. This can be too much.
And don't forget the snooze button. I used to hit snooze 3 or 4 times every morning.
The snooze button is a big trap. When you keep going back to sleep for short periods, you actually feel more tired when you finally get up.
So, how can people plan better for their mornings?
One simple tip is to prepare things the night before. Lay out your clothes, pack your bag, and maybe even prepare breakfast.
That makes sense. What about making a to-do list?
Yes. Before bed, write down 3 important tasks for the next day. This gives your morning direction and purpose.
Just 3 tasks? Not 10 or 20?
Keep it simple. 3 important tasks are better than a long list you'll never finish. A simple routine is one you'll actually follow.
Let's talk about waking up. Do you have any tips for people who find it hard to get out of bed?
If you want to wake up earlier, make small changes. Don't suddenly try to wake up 2 hours earlier. Start with just 15 minutes earlier, then gradually adjust.
What about alarm tricks? I've heard people put their alarm across the room.
That works well. When you have to get out of bed to turn off the alarm, you're already up. Some people also use sunrise alarm clocks that slowly get brighter to wake you naturally.
But if I want to wake up earlier, I should also go to bed earlier, right?
Absolutely. Many people forget this part. If you want to wake up at 6 a.m. but still go to bed at midnight, you'll be exhausted. Try to reduce screen time before bed and make a relaxing bedtime routine.
Once we're awake, what should we do first? Check our phones?
Actually, I recommend avoiding your phone for the first 30 minutes. Instead, try some mindfulness exercises.
Like meditation?
It doesn't have to be complicated. Even simple deep breathing helps. Try the 4-4-4 technique. Breathe in for 4 seconds, hold for 4 seconds, and breathe out for 4 seconds.
That sounds easy enough. Any other mindfulness tips?
Think of one thing you're grateful for each morning. Or set a positive intention like, today I will be patient, or I am ready to learn new things.
I like that. It's like giving your mind a positive direction.
Exactly. It's like muddy water in a glass. When you let it sit still, the mud settles and the water becomes clear. Mindfulness helps your thoughts settle.
What about physical activity? Is everyone supposed to do a full workout in the morning?
Not necessarily. Even gentle stretching for 5 minutes helps wake up your body. It gets your blood flowing and gives you energy.
I sometimes take a short walk around my neighborhood. Is that good?
That's perfect. Even a 5-minute walk, especially outside in the fresh air, can really wake you up. Another fun option is dancing to music while getting ready.
Dancing? Really?
Yes, it's fun and energizing. And for English learners, dancing to English songs gives you language practice too.
Speaking of language learning, our listeners are English learners. How can they include English in their morning routine?
There are many simple ways. Read a short English article or news story while having breakfast, or write in an English journal about your plans for the day.
I've heard speaking practice is important too.
Absolutely. Try describing what you see around you in English. You can even practice speaking in front of a mirror for a few minutes.
These are all great ideas. But how do people stay consistent with their routine?
Tracking your progress is really helpful. Use a simple habit tracker where you can check off each day you follow your routine.
And I guess it's important to be flexible too?
Yes. Take time each week to think about what's working and what isn't. It's okay to adjust your routine as needed.
Should we celebrate when we stick to our routine?
Definitely. Celebrate small wins like waking up on time for 5 days in a row or completing your English practice every morning for a week. This keeps you motivated.
Emma, this has been so helpful. Any final advice for our listeners?
Remember that the perfect morning routine is the one that works for you. Start small, be consistent, and your mornings will transform your days.
Thank you, Emma. And thank you all for listening to the Morning Routine Podcast. Until next time, have a great morning.
Bye, everyone.
That was a great podcast. I really need to stop hitting snooze every morning.
Me too. I liked Emma's tip about preparing things the night before.
And limiting tasks to just 3 important ones makes sense. I always try to do too much.
Do you think you could avoid checking your phone for 30 minutes after waking up?
That would be hard. But I want to try the 4-4-4 breathing technique.
Me too.
All right, let's start our podcast. What are the words today, Eric?
The first word today is exhausted. Then we will continue with trap and intention. Then be supposed to. And the final one is to lay out.
Let's start with the first word.
The first word is exhausted.
Exhausted.
Exhausted is an adjective. It means very, very tired. When you are exhausted, you feel like you have no energy left.
For example, after running for an hour, I feel exhausted. It's like I just want to sit down and rest.
Exactly. Here's an example sentence. After studying all night for the exam, Jake felt exhausted in the morning. This means Jake was very tired because he studied for a long time.
Another example could be, Maria was exhausted after cleaning the entire house. This shows that Maria was really tired because she did a lot of work. Can you use exhausted in different forms, Eric?
Sure. For example, the long meeting exhausted everyone.
Oh, so if something exhausts me, I will feel exhausted.
Perfect. And you can use it with the verb feel or be. For example, you can say, I feel exhausted, or he is exhausted. You can also add words like completely or totally to make it stronger.
Like, after moving apartments, I was completely exhausted.
Well done, Lisa. And you can use exhausted in casual and professional settings.
Okay, well, I think now our followers understand the word exhausted better. Now, let's move on to our next word.
The next word is trap.
Trap.
Trap can be both a noun and a verb, and it has several meanings. Trap as a noun is something used to catch or stop someone or something. For example, hunters use animal traps to catch small animals. Or in movies, you often see a mouse trap catching a mouse.
Yes. And it doesn't have to be a physical trap. For example, a traffic trap is when police wait in a hidden spot to catch speeding cars.
Good one. Now, let's move on to trap as a verb. When we use trap as a verb, it means to catch or prevent someone from escaping. For example, the hiker was trapped in the cave after a rock fell. This means the hiker couldn't get out.
Or, the cat got trapped inside the closet. Poor cat.
Yeah, but trap can also mean to trick someone. Like, The journalist trapped the politician by asking a difficult question.
Oh, that's a common one. It's like when someone makes you say something you don't want to.
And remember, trap can be used in both active and passive sentences. The hunters trapped the bear. Active. The bear was trapped by the hunters. Passive.
Is trap formal or informal?
Well, it's mostly neutral, so you can use it in both casual and professional situations.
Right. You can say, I got trapped in the elevator to your friend. But in business, you might say, we must avoid falling into a financial trap. Okay, well, shall we move on to the next word?
Let's do that. The next word is intention.
Intention.
Intention is a noun that means what someone plans or wants to do. Intention is all about plans and purpose. For example, if you plan to exercise more, you can say, my intention is to go to the gym 3 times a week.
Or if you accidentally hurt someone's feelings, you might say, oh, I'm sorry. That wasn't my intention. This means you didn't mean to do it.
Good one. Here's another example. She has good intentions, but sometimes she makes mistakes. This means she wants to do good things, but they don't always go as planned.
Let's talk about grammar, Eric.
Okay, intention is a noun, and we often use it with have. I have no intention of quitting my job. Or with. He did it with good intention. And with to plus verb. Her intention is to help others. And be careful. We usually don't say do an intention. Instead, we say have an intention.
Oh, like, she has the intention to study abroad.
Yes, Lisa, that's correct.
Is intention formal or informal, Eric?
It's neutral, but we hear it more in formal situations. People might just say plan instead of intention in casual speech.
Right. Intention is very useful in business and professional settings. For example, the company's intention is to improve customer service.
Exactly, Lisa.
Okay, well, I think now our listeners understand the word intention better. Now let's move on to our next phrase.
The next word is be supposed.
Be supposed to.
The most common meaning of be supposed to is when something is expected or required. For example, if you have homework, your teacher might say, you are supposed to finish your homework before class.
Yes, that means it's your responsibility. It's what you should do.
Yes, right, Lisa. Be supposed to is a really common phrase. Here's another example. We're supposed to wear a uniform at school. This means it's a rule or expectation. Now, be supposed to can also mean what people say or believe is true, even if it's not.
Oh, like when people talk about rumors or things they expect?
Exactly. For example, this movie is supposed to be really good. This means people say it's good, but we don't know for sure.
Here's another one. He's supposed to be really rich. This means people think he's rich, but we don't know for sure.
Let's talk grammar. Be supposed to be always used with the verb to be am, is, are, was, were. Plus, supposed to plus base verb. I am supposed to call my mom. She is supposed to be here at 5.
And remember, in negative sentences, we add not after the verb be. You are not supposed to park here. Or, he wasn't supposed to tell anyone. Is be supposed to formal or informal, Eric?
It's neutral, so you can use it in both casual and professional situations. You might say to a friend, we're supposed to meet at 6, right? Or in a business meeting, you could say, employees are supposed to submit reports by Friday.
Okay, well, I think we've reached today's last word. What is the last word, Eric?
The last word is layout.
Layout.
Layout is a phrasal verb that has a couple of important meanings. Let's start with the first meaning, to arrange or spread things out in an organized way.
Great. So if you lay out something, you put it in a neat or planned way. For example, before painting, an artist lays out their brushes and colors.
Exactly. Or imagine you're packing a suitcase. Before putting things inside, you might lay out your clothes on the bed to see what you have.
That's a great example. I always lay out my outfits before a trip. It helps me stay organized.
Nice. And here's another one. At a restaurant, the waiter lays out the napkins, forks, and knives on the table before customers arrive.
Right. It's all about arranging things properly.
Good point, Lisa. Now, let's move to the second meaning, to explain something clearly.
Yes. When you lay out information, you present it in a simple, structured way. For example, if you're giving a presentation at work, you need to lay out your ideas so people understand them.
Exactly. Teachers do this all the time. They lay out lessons so students can learn step by step. Or imagine your friend is confused about a board game. You might say, "Let me lay out the rules for you."
Is layout formal or informal, Eric?
Well, it's neutral, so you can use it in both casual and professional situations. In daily conversation, you might say, "Let me lay out my plan." But in a business setting, you could say, "I will lay out our strategy in the meeting."
Okay. Well, that's it for today's episode of Simply Explained English. We hope you found the words helpful and the explanations easy to understand.
Thanks for listening. Keep studying your English.
And stay tuned. Bye for now. I am Lisa.
And I'm Eric. Do you want to improve your English easily? If so, you're in the right place.
Okay. Today we'll listen to a podcast about a 15-minute daily listening study plan.
Let's listen to it.
Hi, everyone, and welcome to our podcast. I'm Mark, and I'm here with my friend Emma. We both know how important it is to understand spoken English.
That's right, Mark. So, today we're going to talk about something really useful. How to get better at listening to English in just 15 minutes a day. It's a simple way to improve your comprehension and understanding of different accents.
We'll show you a daily routine that includes a quick warm-up, choosing an audio source, listening practice, and thinking about what you've heard. This will help you listen more effectively and understand more easily.
In the next part, we'll explain why even a short listening practice every day can make a big difference. Stay tuned. So, why is daily listening practice so important? Well, like with speaking and reading, it's all about building a habit. When you listen a little bit every day, it becomes easier and easier to understand spoken English.
Exactly. And a short 15-minute session can really help you feel more comfortable with different accents and speaking speeds. Many people are nervous about understanding fast speech, but the more you practice, the more confident you'll become.
Plus, regular listening helps your brain get used to the sounds of English and remember new vocabulary. When you need to understand someone, you'll be able to process the information more quickly.
I remember when I started learning German, I found listening really difficult. But I made a promise to myself to listen for at least 10 minutes every day, even if it was just a short podcast. After a few weeks, I felt much more comfortable understanding spoken German.
Now we're going to break down the 15-minute routine minute by minute. Get ready to nail down your English listening skills.
All right, let's get into the details of our 15-minute English listening routine. It's divided into 4 parts, so it's easy to follow.
First, we have the warm-up. It takes 2 minutes.
The goal here is to wake up your brain and prepare it to listen to English.
A simple way to do this is to quickly listen to a short audio clip that you've already heard before. This could be a song, a news report, or a clip from a TV show.
The point is to get your ears used to the sounds of English before you start your main listening practice.
Next up is the audio selection. It takes 3 minutes.
This part helps you focus your listening practice. Choose an audio source that's interesting to you and at the right level. Maybe something you come across online. This could be a podcast, a radio show, a YouTube video, or an audiobook.
It's important to choose something that's not too difficult, but also not too easy. You want to be challenged, but not overwhelmed.
Try to choose a different type of audio each day to keep things interesting and expose yourself to different accents and speaking styles. Change it every day. One day, listen to an American accent. The next day, try British. It keeps things fresh.
Now, for the most important part, intensive listening practice. It takes 7 minutes.
This is where you really get to practice your listening skills. The aim is to listen actively and understand the audio.
We suggest breaking these 7 minutes into smaller chunks and tuning out any distractions. For example, listen for 3 minutes, then pause briefly to think about what you've heard before listening again.
As you listen, try to focus on the main ideas and key details. Don't worry about working out every single word. Just focus on the main ideas.
If you're having trouble understanding, try listening again. You can also slow down the audio speed if necessary.
Jot down any new vocabulary words or phrases that you hear.
After you finish listening, go back and look up the words you didn't know. Write them down in a notebook or use a flashcard app.
Try to summarize what you heard in your own words.
Finally, we have reflection and feedback, which takes 3 minutes.
This is where you think about how you did and how you can brush up your skills.
Ask yourself questions like, what was the main idea of the audio? What new vocabulary words did I learn? What accents did I hear?
You could also try to transcribe a short section of the audio. This will help you improve your listening accuracy.
Think about what you found easy and what you found difficult. This will help you choose appropriate audio sources for future practice sessions.
Remember, reviewing your performance and thinking about how you can improve is a really important part of learning.
So that's the 15-minute routine. Each part works together to help you become a more fluent and confident listener. Now that you know the routine, here are a few extra tips to help you get even more out of it.
If you can, try to listen to English in different situations, like while you're cooking, cleaning, or exercising. This will help you get used to listening in different environments.
Also, try to watch English movies and TV shows with subtitles. This will help you connect the spoken words with the written words.
Remember, even a little bit of practice every day can make a big difference. Don't get discouraged if you don't see results right away. Just keep going, and you'll get there.
As they say, listen and you will learn. Every day you practice, you're improving your listening skills and expanding your understanding of English.
Track your progress and celebrate your small wins. Did you understand a difficult conversation? Did you learn a new idiom? These are all things to be proud of.
We'd love to hear about your experiences with this routine. Share your questions or join an online community for language learners to connect with others.
So, to recap, we've talked about the benefits of daily listening practice and shared a simple 15-minute routine that includes a warm-up, audio selection, intensive listening, and reflection. We also gave you some extra tips to help you stay motivated.
We encourage you to try this routine for at least a week and see how much you improve. We think you'll be surprised.
Thanks for listening to the R Podcast. We hope you found this episode helpful.
If you have any questions or feedback, please let us know, and stay tuned for our next episode.
Keep listening, and we'll see you next time.
It was a really nice podcast. What do you think, Eric?
Agreed. For listening, it's really a useful plan. Our followers should try it.
Absolutely. Okay, let's start our podcast. What are the words today, Eric?
The first word today is tune out. Then we will continue with come across and to work out. Then jot down. And the final one is brush up on.
Wow. All vocab today are phrasal verbs.
Yes, Lisa. Phrasal verbs are very common and important in English.
Yes, right, Eric. Okay, let's start with the first word.
The first word is tune out.
Tune out. Tune out sounds interesting, Eric. Does it have anything to do with music or radio?
Great question, Lisa. Actually, yes. Originally, tune out came from radio usage. When you stop listening to a certain radio station or channel, you tune out. But today, we mostly use it to talk about not paying attention or ignoring something.
Oh, so it's like when someone talks, but I don't really listen?
Exactly. When you tune out, you stop listening or paying attention because maybe you're bored or distracted.
Could you give us some example sentences to help us understand it better?
Sure, here's one. During the math class, I started to tune out because it was so boring. This means the class wasn't interesting and the person stopped paying attention.
Okay, here's another. When my brother talks about football, I always tune out because I don't like sports.
Perfect example, Lisa. It clearly shows someone losing interest and not listening anymore.
Eric, can we use tune out in both formal and informal situations?
Actually, tune out is informal. It's very common in everyday conversations, but not usually used in formal writing or speaking.
What about grammar tips, Eric? Any important points to remember?
Yes. When you use tune out with an object, like a person or a thing, remember to add that object after the phrase. For example, I tuned out the noise. Without an object, it just means you're not paying attention generally, like, I just tuned out.
So remember, everyone, tune out means not paying attention or ignoring someone or something. Use it informally, and don't forget your object when you need it. Okay, well, let's move on to the next word.
The next word is come across.
Come across.
Come across is a phrasal verb. It means to find something by chance or to meet someone unexpectedly. You don't plan for it. It just happens.
For example, last week I was reading an old book and came across a photo from my childhood.
Perfect example. You weren't looking for the photo, but you found it.
Can we use come across for people too?
Yes. If you come across someone, it means you meet them unexpectedly.
Oh, like yesterday, when I was at the supermarket and came across my old teacher.
Exactly. That's a great example, Lisa. Here's another one. Yesterday, I was walking in the park, and I came across an old friend from school. This means I met my friend unexpectedly. I wasn't planning to see them.
Oh, that's a nice surprise. Another example is, I came across an interesting article online. This means I found it while I was browsing the internet, but I wasn't searching for it.
Yes, Lisa. Here's something important. Come across is usually followed by a noun or pronoun. We say, I came across a book, or she came across something interesting.
Is come across formal or informal, Eric?
Come across is neutral. You can use it in spoken and written English. It's common in casual conversations and even in formal writing, like articles or reports.
That's really useful. Okay, well, I think now our listeners understand come across better. Now, let's move on to our next phrase.
The next word is to work out.
To work out.
To work out is a very useful phrase because it has a few different meanings. Let's start with the first one, exercise. When people say, I work out every morning, they mean they do physical exercise, like going to the gym, running, or doing yoga. Lisa, do you work out?
Well, sometimes. I like to go for a run, but I don't go to the gym very often. What about you?
I try to work out 3 times a week. I like lifting weights and swimming.
That's great. So, listeners, remember, if someone says, I need to work out more, they are talking about exercising.
Now, let's move on to the second meaning of work out. It can also mean to solve a problem or find a solution.
For example, if you're struggling with a math problem, you might say, I can't work this out. That means you can't find the answer.
Another example, if 2 friends have an argument, they might say, let's talk and work things out. That means they want to fix the problem. That's a really useful way to use workout. It's about finding a solution to something difficult. Now, there's one more meaning. Something happening successfully or as planned.
Like when someone says, "Don't worry, everything will work out." That means things will be okay in the end.
Exactly. So, Lisa, if someone says, "My travel plans didn't work out," what do they mean?
That means their plans didn't go as expected. Maybe their flight was canceled or their hotel was full.
That's right. So, listeners, workout can mean exercise, solving a problem, or something going well.
Okay, well, I think we've explained to work out pretty well. Let's move on to the next word.
The next word is jot down.
Jot down. Jot down sounds short and quick. Is it about writing, Eric?
You're absolutely right, Lisa. Jot down means to write something quickly, usually notes or reminders.
Ah, so it's like making a quick note to remember later?
Exactly. When you jot something down, you're writing it briefly to help you remember.
Could you give us some examples to clarify?
Sure, here's one. Let me jot down your phone number before I forget. This means quickly writing the number so you don't lose it.
That's clear. Here's another. She jotted down a few ideas during the meeting.
Excellent example. It's about quickly writing ideas so she doesn't forget them later.
Eric, is jot down formal or informal?
Jot down is neutral but usually informal. It's great for casual conversations, everyday use, or even semi-formal situations, but avoid it in very formal writing.
Any grammar tips we should know?
Good question. Remember to use an object with jot down, such as ideas, notes, or numbers. You usually say what exactly you're jotting down.
Thanks, Eric. So everyone, remember, jot down means quickly writing notes or reminders. It's informal and easy to use. Okay, well, we've reached the last word of today. What is the last word, Eric?
The last word is brush up.
Brush up. Brush up. It sounds like cleaning something. Is it related?
Good guess, Lisa. But actually, brush up means to refresh your knowledge or improve a skill that you've learned before, but maybe forgot a little.
Oh, like reviewing something again to remember it better?
Exactly. When you brush up on something, you're practicing or studying it again to remember and improve.
Can we have some examples to make it clearer?
Of course. Here's one. I need to brush up on my Spanish before my trip to Mexico. This means practicing Spanish again to become more comfortable speaking it.
Got it. Here's another. She brushed up on her cooking skills before hosting a big dinner.
Perfect. That means she practiced or reviewed her cooking abilities to make sure the dinner was great.
Eric, is brush up formal or informal?
Brush up is neutral and commonly used in both informal and semi-formal situations. It's perfect for everyday conversations and casual settings.
Any quick grammar tips for us?
Definitely. Usually we say brush up on, followed by the skill or subject. For example, brush up on my math, brush up on French, or brush up on cooking.
Thanks, Eric. So remember, everyone, brush up means reviewing and practicing something again to improve your skill. Well, that's it for today's episode of Simply Explained English. We hope you found the words helpful and the explanations easy to understand.
Thanks for listening. Keep studying your English.
And stay tuned. Bye for now.